A lot of people seem to be obsessed with freedom, and I completely understand why. I think that comes from a deep sense of feeling unfree, and it is a feeling that I very much share. For much of my life, I am haunted by a persistent sense of unfreedom, a feeling of not being fully free. And actually, those moments in my life where I feel really free are very, very rare and fleeting. One think a lot about freedom, about what that really means. A lot of the so-called libertarians, who of course put freedom as the ultimate political value, they seem to have very different focuses, and always it refers to government, it refers to law, authority and the systems of society and such the like. I think some of that may be externalizing one's own responsibility for being free. When I think about the actual obstacles to doing what I want in my life, very few of those are actually to do with laws, with the exception of, for example, drug laws. Many people may find freedom through psychedelics, for example, and be quite annoyed, I think quite rightly, that various morons in government don't know what the hell they're talking about and have, for various very cynical reasons, made psychedelics illegal. Don't get me wrong, this is a threat to liberty, but I think the agent of removing freedom in our lives that we need to fear the most is ourselves, is the way that we sell out to the opinions of other people, for example. The kind of matrix of shame that exists in a given society, for example, clearly limits what people feel that they can and cannot do in their life without facing serious social consequences, for example. There are any number of threats to freedom that people don't seem to focus on very much, perhaps because it's a little bit too close to home. Often the threats to freedom that we encounter are the people that are most important to us, the people closest in our lives. We value their opinion, and so we live in accordance with their moral judgments a lot of the time. A lot of people spend their lives doing things that they don't really want to do in order to please or impress or gain approval from their parents. And then they wonder why they don't feel free, and then they get angry at the government for taking their freedom away, when in fact it is their own compliance with a particular social matrix, their own failure to be authentic, that has resulted in this feeling of being unfree. And I think it is that feeling of unfreedom and that feeling of freedom that we need to actually be talking about more than objective freedom or actual freedom. We talk about whether or not we live in a free society or are free, and we don't perhaps talk enough about the behaviours that we can engage in that produce a feeling of being free. And I leave you with a question to think about. Perhaps you can put your opinion in the comments or whatever it is you folks do on YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, I leave you with the following question. Would you rather be free but feel unfree? Or would you rather be unfree but feel free?